I'm Andrew, and I'm setting out to make better videos for diesel enthusiasts. Follow along as I review products, do how-tos, and share my personal trucks here on Just Diesels. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to be doing a headlight comparison review. I have the best of the best headlight for 3rd gen Rams, and we're going to be pitting them all head to head. Now, this is part of a larger series of videos, so I have individual standalone reviews of each headlight, as well as a full roundup video. So if you're watching one of these videos, please feel free to check out the other ones that will have detailed information on all of the headlights. Also, if you're looking to purchase these headlights, please support CJC Off-Road. They made this video possible, so if you're looking to buy these headlights, head over to their website. I'll have links down below to all the headlights included in these video series. In this video, we're gonna be focusing specifically on the AlphaRex Nova Series headlight. This is their top of the line headlight. This is as good as it gets from AlphaRex. And today we're going to be breaking it down, looking at what this headlight actually entails. Now, to start out with, we're going to be talking about the interesting features of this headlight. We're going to be talking about installation, wiring, all that stuff, how it compares to everything else in the market. The next up, we're also going to talk about fit and finish, how it actually installs in the truck. Then we're going to talk about total light output. How does this thing actually handle on the road? And finally, a wrap up, is this thing worth buying? In terms of interesting features, let's just start right there. So this headlight is going to have pretty much everything you could ever want from an aftermarket headlight. It's also gonna have a bunch of really cool features that separate it on the marketplace. So for one, it has a built-in LED running light. This can either be powered off of, like on my truck in 06, the factory running light on the bottom will basically power these direct plug and play. If you have a later 07 Plus truck that doesn't have that, you will wire this directly to the fuse panel on the truck, and it will receive power as you turn the truck on. When you turn the truck on, or in my case, when I turn on the headlights, you get a really cool startup sequence out of these running lights. So they're actually gonna sequence across, like phasing side to side. It's a really cool look, really kind of more high-end, feels like an Audi, something like that. That has a really cool startup power on sequence. Now, these running lights are also a switchback. So on the bottom strip, if you activate your turn signals or your hazards, you're gonna get a sequential turn signal. Sequential means sequencing across the bottom in the direction of travel. So turn your left signal on, it's gonna sequence across the bottom of the light. It's a really cool switchback feature where it goes from white to amber. The top strip is still gonna remain white, and so you get this kind of cool look. Now, this headlight's going to take light output to the next level from their Lux series headlight, which is their mid-level headlight. On these headlights, on the Nova series, you're gonna see their quote ice cube projectors. This is their proprietary, most high-end projector, and behind that is gonna be their built-in LED chips. Now, this is the same chip that you're gonna see in their Lux series headlight, except in these, instead of a single projector headlight, you're gonna see tri-projector. So it's gonna be tri-projector for low beam, and then you have one final 4th projector that's gonna be your high beam. Light is additive, so if you have 3 projectors running with your low beam, that's gonna be way better than what you're gonna get out of the single projector on the Lux headlights. These headlights are extremely bright as a result. The other nice thing about the ice cube projectors is going to be very focused, albeit there are 3 of them running, or 4 if you have your high beams. So because of that, you get a little bit less intensity and less focus that you would get out of a single projector. But with 3 of them running, you're still going to get fantastic light output. In terms of total light output, these are right up there with the absolute best of the best, and I would say head to head with Morimoto in terms of output on these trucks. I did a bunch of back and forth testing. I really couldn't tell the difference. I have a whole video that walks through those 2. But in terms of light output, I would say 10 out of 10, fantastic overall light output on these trucks. One area where these lights really excel is because of the multi-projector, you're gonna get a lot of really good fill light. So because it's less focused, it's not a single projector, you're gonna get really good foreground fill out of these lights. That doesn't mean that you're lacking distance though. In terms of driving at night on windy, dark roads, I found that these lights did an exceptional job, and you pull in the high beam and it really opens up the beam pattern. You're gonna get a lot more height out of it, a lot more spread and width as well. And you're just gonna get fantastic overall light put out of these lights. This is basically going to turn night to day. If you supplement this with some extra fog lights, etc., you are literally turning night to day. But I would say these, even as a standalone light, driving on a completely windy, tons of rises road, I basically put these headlights in the absolute worst possible scenario, right? Super, super tight corners, lots of rises up and down, really poor visibility. With a stock headlight, you would not be able to see anything on the road. And in these headlights, you can actually see a lot of good output. You're gonna get really good distance vision out of this when it does open up, but when the road is kind of closed down, you're still getting good side fill. You're still getting enough ambient light to see where you're going. Put these things out on the open road and you're gonna still get really good light output. Now I purposely drove on a street with overhead lamps so that you could kind of see how these headlights compared to the brightness of the overhead street lights, and they power right through them. You can actually see, even in the areas where the light puddle is coming down from the overhead lights, you can still see these lights being brighter than those street lights, which is really cool. On a completely dark road, again, fantastic output, really good fill. And I have these adjusted pretty conservatively to not blind people. So if you went them a little bit higher, you'd probably get a little more distance out of these, but I was trying to play it on the safe side for this video. But again, just fantastic overall throw out of these lights. Now on the topic of adjustment, these headlights must be basically pulled out of the truck to make the adjustment, unfortunately. Because of the way that these headlights were designed, the adjustment screw is on the back of the headlight housing instead of on the front side like it would be on factory. So while supposedly you can kind of pull the fender liners out to adjust these, I found it to be such a pain. It was easier to just take the headlights out of the truck, turn the adjustment screw, put them back in when I was lining them up against a wall. Not exactly easy, but not exactly all that hard either. It wasn't terrible. You just kind of pop them in, pop them out until you get them right. Now these headlights are not cheap. They're over the $1,000 mark, but I would say they deliver in terms of all the features they provide for that price tag. These are going to have awesome looks overall. I think they definitely don't look OEM, but they don't look tacky and over the top like a lot of aftermarket lights can look. And again, that's subjective, but I do think they kind of walk that fine line between being cool and classy and being too much. These are a really cool light in terms of overall output too. The price tag that comes with these lights is well backed up with a ton of cool features, really clean fit in the truck, and overall fantastic light output from these lights. Now again, if you were cross-shopping these with the Morimotos, which are also in the same price point, I have a video going back and forth showing side by side how these lights compare with them, but I would say these are right on par. It should really come down to looks, and if you like the look of these lights, if the price tag doesn't scare you, they are seriously fantastic lights. These are actually the lights that are going to be finding their long-term home on my truck because I was so impressed with how they performed. And actually I just really fell in love with the look. They really had kind of very similar performance to the Morimoto, and I just kind of fell in love with how these lights looked. Hit subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more like it. I do a ton of reviews. I've got a lot on my channel, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I appreciate it. I will see you guys on the next video.